Alright, so a few weeks ago, I've made a beginner's guide to Heroes of the Storm. I love Heroes of the Storm. I've been playing Heroes of the Storm since the alpha. I've been trying to make content for it. It's not picking up, so I figured, you know what, let's do something meta. Let's react to a big content creator who I gave the permission to, full transparency. I did send this video to him. I was like, hey, you might enjoy this. Also, give me some feedback, because I would love to, you know, just pick your brain a little bit, since Grubby is very well known within the community, and maybe, you know, me doing this and hopefully making more content around HOTS could bolster my existence within the community, which I would love to do. So first of all, welcome, and also I'm very excited to be able to watch his reaction to one of my magnum opuses. I spent a lot of time on this video, actually, a lot of time, over 200 hours, just editing for about 2 weeks straight, long nights, early mornings. Just also getting feedback from some of my friends, constantly sending versions to them. But yeah, let's just watch this together. All right. I think his input is actually really valuable.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch this video. It's the ultimate MOBA beginner's guide, Heroes of the Storm in 2025.
You have to put the word ultimate.
The creator, Too Sketchy, actually sent this to me, wondering if I'd like to watch it. I watched 1 or 2 minutes.
He did get some really valuable feedback, which we'll get into throughout the video.
And I liked the beginning, so let's check it out together.
He's gonna have an error here, so I'm just gonna pick it up a few seconds later. Stay tuned to see what's in this loot box. Beginner's guide on how to play Heroes of the Storm 10 years later. Heroes of the Storm, where every match feels like group therapy with cooldowns. Just want to get into this real fast, breeze over this real quick. For the ones that have been playing HOTS for as many years as I have, you know that some of these players, sometimes me included, are emotional. We are passionate. That is no excuse for some of the behavior that's going on out there. I would never say some of the things that other people are saying. I'm human too. I make mistakes. I get upset. I see plays being made. I'm like, what the f was that? But I will say, HOTS has a tendency of pulling in or pulling down players to their lowest. And one of the reasons, and this was, I'm only getting into this because I have an idea for a video about the psychology of HOTS players, and I might actually make it. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on it yet, but there's a lot that goes into it, from learned helplessness to ego to there's a few studies that I've read, but the reason because of this is HOTS is team reliant a lot. Like Liga is too, but not as much. Dota is too, but you know, you have those carries, you have those multiple win cons. In HOTS, while the map is a win con, right, getting the objective is a win con, if somebody's sandbagging you in HOTS, you feel it. Like you probably are not going to win, and it hurts. And doing something about it is harder. And climbing and getting good, it's harder. So people tend to lash out. People tend to feed. People tend to AFK more, and it's very potent in HOTS. And just with that line itself, right? It's like therapy with cooldowns. That's kind of what I wanted to get into and just touch on real fast, because I know a lot of us out there have been in those moments. Now let's get the elephant out of the room. Yes, this game is very much still alive.
Wasn't Heroes of the Storm dead?
I don't know if he was mocking me there, but I know that a lot of us chatters, I've been in his chat many times. A lot of people are like, wait, this game is still alive? Yes, it is. And in fact, depending on what mode you play, queue times are shorter than, oh, gotta go. HOTS refuses to die, unlike the will of your team working together. Yeah. And that's kind of inspiring. Despite people thinking it's on life support, with money. This scene, that Photoshop file, which is now, by the way, my YouTube cover as well. The transition, the idea of trying to think of how to make this part interesting, the background, the editing, the color grading, the proper techniques used to be able to shift this to the perspective that I want things to be, all that together, and then having to reuse these files eventually throughout the video. Just this alone took me about 12 hours, 14-ish hours to get right how I wanted it to, with the additions of the hot stickers coming in with the poster and just getting everything right to the way I wanted to, right? I kept going back and perfecting it and adding things and removing things, and it's not a one-shot go, right? So I don't know. It's this dude. This thing doesn't show up for more than 5 seconds, but it took like forever, right? Just so you know.
Monthly patch notes more so since Microsoft took over, and the recent hopium-injected trailer of a potential 2026 revival has people like myself making content as if Blizzard is whispering, "Get in, start backdooring core." For those,
I didn't see that trailer for BlizzCon 2026.
I'll put the link in the description below for you and for Grubby.
Apparently, it was kind of Heroes of the Storm coded. I should watch that too.
unaware, Blizzard took HOTS, looked at every MOBA, and said, nah, no item shop, no CSing or denying CS,
No last
no
hit,
jungle
no
role,
denies.
but instead,
Yep. Some people ask me, did you draw a penis? I did. And then I blurted it out. I was like, this is a little too much. Thankfully, I did, because it's on Grubby's thing. And I think he notices it too. Watch his facial reaction.
you're soaking, not in a tub, but the XP, which we'll get into later. HOTS is
I'm glad I blurred it.
straight up team fighting chaos with heroes from every Blizzard franchise. Want to play as Diablo from Diablo, or a raid boss?
That's the first hero I played.
Mine was Muradin. I don't know what phase I was going through, but I loved like dwarves, fantasy dwarves. I don't have like a fetish for them or anything. That's not what I mean. I really liked dwarves. Big axes, big beards, dragon slayer dwarves, you know, with the red hair, the mohawks, the whole thing. I loved them. I don't know. I still have a bunch of books and stuff about them. So when I was able to play as Muradin back in the alpha, holy moly.
Diablo. First hero I played. I was like, oh my god, you can play Diablo here. The power for a Blizzard fanboy of being able to play one of these heroes yourself in this game was very alluring to me. It may not be true for like, you know, new young gamers that haven't played other Blizzard games ever.
Gen Alpha.
As someone that grew up
Gen
with
Z.
Diablo 1 and played it countless times, then loads of D2 and a bit of D3 and D4. Like, you can play Diablo? Hell yeah.
That must be pretty cool though, if you think about it, right? Like, we've been stuck in these pods of universes, more or less, right? Diablo, Overwatch for the newer gens. What else is there? World of Warcraft, like, and then finally having a space, right? Blizzard giving us an arena essentially for our fantasies to sort of collide into. It's the equivalent of how back in the day, and even today, right? People are like, do you think Batman could beat fucking Wolverine or something? Right? Here it's like, do you think Diablo could beat, I don't know, Illidan in a 1v1? And now you can test it. I don't think you can, but
From World of Warcraft. How about Genji, but with different abilities? Or an annoying invincible looking frog that will piss you off, surprisingly more than your team's decision-making skills.
this shot was kind of accidental, but when it clicked, I was like, wait a minute. The Murky turning into a bubble here, into the outro of a HOTS video where Murky comes in as a bubble, genius.
Welcome to Heroes of the Storm, where a Murloc can ruin your games, and yes, that was your tank chasing it,
Accidental genius.
while you're getting...
Those were two of my friends following up on me sliding in and moshing the enemy team. And I was like, hey, this is good footage. I'll reuse this.
Anyone who has played HOTS knows of the inaugural team fight that happens at the beginning of every game.
Yep.
Unless...
You know for a fact you've been part of this situation so many times if you've been playing HOTS for any amount of time. Whether it's Sergeant Hammer, whether it's Sylvanas, Ragnaros can do it sometimes. This sort of cheese is a strategy. It's pretty effective, especially if the team is all in on it and if you're on Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom is very strong. Or the strategy is very strong on Towers of Doom because of, well, the win con of getting the towers, right? Getting the towers, the force, and then the keeps. It's very strong. But the team needs to be in on it. Otherwise, you're just gonna, well, something's gonna happen here soon. Which is also a friend of mine, that butcher that's gonna come in out of nowhere. Every time he sees this clip, he gets very excited about it. So I'm probably just gonna, hey, what's up, bud? You did a great job here.
Yeah, hell yeah! Oh shit.
The action is streamlined.
I've made him immortal now with that clip.
You're in the fight from minute 1. No 10-minute laning phase, no endless last hitting to prove you're worthy to buy an item, which, to be honest, makes no sense.
I think it does make sense. I like earning money a lot in League of Legends and Dota 2 to buy an item. I feel like that skill expression in lane is really interesting. Not yet, Rui, after this.
I think he's right. For me, my approach was, it doesn't make sense because of, literally, why does she have swords, right? Like, she has a gun. Why aren't the items pertaining to her as the items that she needs? That's one of the things I like about HOTS. Like, there aren't items, right? You're not using money to buy anything, which is, he's right? The expression, the skill expression in lane to be able to dominate your snowball and push further and purchase strong items like that. That is fun. The cops are driving by. But but in HOTS it makes sense because the talents are literally tied to the hero. Right? There's no like weird things that people are sharing between each other. Like, not everyone's going Bramble Vest, right? Or your 3 carries are not picking that one same item or talent. Like, it's very unique in HOTS, and that's kind of what I was trying to get to here.
Why does she have swords? Where does she put them all? But why? Why does this work in HOTS? Well, there's a reason this happens. But explaining that would involve nuanced strategies, MOBA design knowledge, and a deep understanding of lane priority and matchups. But you clicked on a video aimed at beginners.
Let me just get into that real quick. So, strategy, lane priority, MOBA design knowledge, and matchups. So, what's supposed to happen when you meet in the middle as a team, your objective, I'll sit on that for a little bit. What do you think the objective is? 3, 2, 1. Your objective is to clear the wave as fast as possible. Clear the wave. Sure, it's also a moment to like skill check the opponent to see, you know, how good they are. So it's a little bit of a, can I get away with this? Can I start questing on something? Can I start stacking something? But the ultimate objective there is to clear the wave as fast as possible. Now, why? Why do you think that is? Once the wave is clear, faster than the enemy team, you can rotate, you can move, you can leave, you can go soak elsewhere, you can go take a camp, you can position yourself somewhere, hide in a bush, and jump the other team from rotating, right? Because now they're behind and they have to make it down to lane or whatever. That's the objective. That's the strategy. That's the MOBA design knowledge that people might be missing out on. And the matchups there are understanding, obviously if you're playing ranked, you're going to be banding to said counters, but knowing the matchups and understanding like who goes where can I be? Does Sonya trade well against Leo, or does Alexstrasza heal well if they have an Anna? Should I stay in this lane? Should I fight him? Am I going to be able to trade? Should I go help that top laner or the solo laner because he is struggling? Like, knowing that is not going to come immediately, right? You're going to have to go through several games, several years maybe even, to just grasp and understand, because you've been through so many variations of games that now you sort of grasp that. But like I said, you clicked on the beginner's guide video and like none of that is going to stick with you, and that's something that I get into later. It's not about being overly informative, because people are not going to walk away with this stuff. Like, my reasoning for this video is to be funny, so something sticks with them, right? Something, at least something sticks, even if it wasn't that funny. I mean, to be funny is subjective, right? Everyone has a different sense of humor, but that was kind of my goal with it.
So let's assume you are in fact a beginner, unless you're not. Then you're doing exactly what you shouldn't be doing. Staying too long, both on this video and in lane. Go rotate.
But I want to watch anyway.
Rotating does not refer to you spinning in place, but to move from one point to another, from one lane to another lane, or camp, or objective. The main purpose is to catch the enemy off guard.
I thought rotating was a very strange term when I first heard it in HOTS.
You gave me feedback on these. There's 3 of them. There's rotate, macro, and soaking. The way that this is delivered was intentional from my end, but I may have missed the mark in terms of being educational, right? And I don't know if I should apologize, and I'm sorry for that, but the reasoning behind this was, again, falling back to what I was saying, trying to be comedic, trying to be funny, and trying to be quick with it. Like, again, some things are not going to stick with players, viewers, just people that are tuning in, wanting to watch the video. It's not going to stick. So I was thinking of ways like, how can I deliver this quickly? Just really fast, boom. If they are interested, they can pause the video and kind of just read up on it. So I went with this sort of like medical, right, advertisement thing that they use at the end. It's just a really quick delivery of it, like, you know, small print type stuff. But and he gave me feedback on this, you know, this wasn't like the strongest part of the video, and I tend to agree, right? But again, my reasoning was quick, fast, easy, just get it out there, boom, done.
You know,
And now for the wording there, rotate, right? Peeling was another one. That was a big one, for me at least. I remember specifically a moment in League of Legends when I was playing for my first couple of weeks. Somebody said, "We need to focus." I was like, "Bro, I'm fucking focused. What do you mean?" He's like, "No, we need to focus this one thing." I'm just like, "I am focused. Like, I'm thinking about it. How would you want me to focus on it?" I remember like leaning up to it. I was like, "I'm fucking focused." Focusing means target this one guy.
but because HOTS was later than Dota and League,
Ugh.
there were a lot of terms already that came over from those other MOBAs that
Yeah.
I had to learn, like anchoring, peeling, rotating, carrying, and I find most of the terms to be quite stupid.
Turning fights in your favor. And
Like,
putting
I don't think they cover the load very well. But yeah, by now it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
you ahead to try to snowball
It takes a while to get
Play
used to it.
now. Because it's fun, because it's fast, and because deep down
They're
you're tired of
undescriptive.
teammates and other MOBAs thinking that they're pro.
Here, everyone is equally confused.
This video is made to ease that confusion, and with enough comedic timing, you might just walk away with... Ugh, jeez.
So, like I said there, with enough comedic timing, you might walk away with, and the joke was, what you're getting absolutely obliterated. So that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier. But also, that hitbox and that ragdoll effect is random, by the way. If you don't know, now you know. When I was playing this particular match, I saw that Butcher do something completely differently, in terms of the ragdoll physics. So once a player dies, the ragdoll physics, if you were to rewind this in the replay system, is going to be random every time. Something differently may happen. However, during the live game, he did something similar to this. I was like, oh man, I gotta go back and watch the replay and use that for this video. This will be a perfect segment for this little part right here. But it took me several tries. Like, I had to like rewind it 5 seconds, do it again, rewind it 5 seconds. I was like, what the hell? Why isn't he doing the thing that he literally just did? And then eventually he did this, which was even better than the original version of him getting absolutely tornadoed.
Listen,
Such a nice
the best
hitbox.
way for me to help you start your journey is
12 hours. No. 8 hours? I think it was 8 hours. I don't know why it took me so long. This scene, to get the icons, to get the effect, to get the proper positioning of this little x-ray thing, that weird light, like 8 hours.
to show you each role, how to play them effectively, and what is required from you in that role. But before that, I need to show you the importance of XP and soaking.
Ooh,
It's the most crucial
nerd
part
details.
of HOTS. Yet, the majority of players from quick match to low elo ranked games
Someone made a comment saying that that is not an actual ranked game, and I'm gonna be honest. They're right. I lied to you. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. I had footage there of literally a ranked game. It must have gotten replaced during the edit or the final version. That's Blackheart's Bay. Blackheart's Bay is not part of the ranked rotation or the ranked map rotation. So I fucked up. I fucked up. But but I swear to you, this happens in ranked games as well. Especially, like I said, in low elo ranked games.
act as if these little blue gems are poisonous. when instead they're literally your source to victory.
Yep.
I'll make it quick and only slightly boring, I promise.
I like
Besides,
boring.
Remember this? In simple terms, seeing this should give
I don't know how effective that loot box was. Right? Stay tuned to see what's in this loot box. That's how this video started off. And then throughout the video, I like sprinkle it in. My hope was to like retain as many viewers as possible. And analytically speaking, looking at some of the numbers, I feel like it's doing well, but I can't tell if it's because of the content, because of HOTS, and you know, maybe it's an interesting watch, or is it actually the loot box and people want to see what it is? To me, rewatching this, that box has no effect on me. I don't know. I'm just, every time it pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, that fucking thing. It'd be interesting to know if that actually had an effect on you or not.
anxiety. And if it doesn't, I'll do my best to instill you with some of mine.
Nice.
As a member of a team, you earn levels for soaking XP.
Soaking. The action of standing near blue meth crystals in hopes of overdosing in XP. Side effects include more levels.
I mentioned this in the original video. I think I pinned it in my comments section. There are Easter eggs throughout the video. I kind of wanted to lean into like what Blizzard does. Sometimes they hide, you know, they have little secret messages in their content. In this particular scene, if you look at the keyboard, the Cheeto fingers and the letters that are pressed, they spell HOTS. In this scene only, not in the other computer scene, there's a magazine right behind Grubby. I do have the magazine public somewhere. Just gotta dig around for it if you want the picture of it. But there's a headline that says, "Will Thrall ever finish his quests?" For the Thrall mains out there, if you're picking Trash Lightning, you know what I'm talking about.
More talents, more kills, and more wins. Pikachu is not responsible if you actually lose.
Minions are the only source from which you can soak XP from, while capturing camps, destroying buildings, completing objectives, and...
I know why he paused the video there. He was like, wait, that's not the only part I can get XP from.
Yes, sure, killing heroes are more interactive ways of earning XP. Out of these 5 scenarios, however, which one do you think happens most frequently?
My DPS dies as often as my minions. XD.
It's a joke!
No, the correct answer is minions.
I made funny.
Here, look at this. Each wave is worth 480
480 XP. Some maps, editor's note, some maps have deviations.
Each wave is
Some maps and time will have slight variations in width.
Deviation is a big word, Grubby. Relax, man. Variations. So this map, these minions. Okay, hold on. These 3 minions, each minion is worth 80 XP. 80, 80, 80. Right? These 3. And the ones in the back, the ranged ones, are also 80, 80, 80. There's one minion, usually the mage minion, or in this case, the leader minion, that does not give you XP and it gives you a region globe instead. The variations there are, what the hell? Over time, some of these might change. It might be like 86, 96, but they're very slight variations. So I needed to make that editor's note. The more important thing is, which we'll get into.
XP. This is Warhead Junction, 480.
worth 480 XP. A hero kill is worth 200.
Hero is 250 with 50 extra per level. Okay, so wave at level 1 is worth 2 hero kills, almost.
Yep.
You miss 1 wave and you get 2 kills, you're even.
Yep.
50 XP.
2 kills, which is huge, by the way.
Plus 50 per level. Miss 1.
I try to showcase that here. Like, if you look at the XP bar, it's like halfway to the number 1, right? Like, the number 1 is right here. This team just got the kill.
Wave early game? That's more than a kill's worth. Just gone. Pause the video here for some nerdy numbers.
250 XP plus 50 level 1, 300 XP. Oh, it's plus level 1. Okay. So it's more like 1.5 kills is equal to 1 wave. So if you trade, I remember this from a long time ago. If you lose 1 guy, but you got a wave and they didn't, you're leading in XP. But if you lose 2, then you're behind.
Worth.
Level 5, 250 plus 5, 500 XP, yeah. Does the wave XP scale, or is it always 450?
That's what I was trying to say, you know, with the editor's notes. There are variations. There's like a slight scaling, but it's so minimal, it doesn't really matter.
That's what I don't know.
But overall, waves are greater than
You
kills.
forgot.
So, remember, when I said halfway to 1 and that XP that they got for killing them, this remaining amount is them soaking that XP. However, the other team was only soaking, and they're already all the way at 1. Just, I don't know if that was clear enough, but yeah.
First blood bonus. I actually asked this guy about it. He said it's plus another 50.
No, it's not. So we had a little conversation, and there might have been some miscommunication from my part. He asked me, he's like, what about First Blood XP? It's not in the video. I was like, I left that part out because it's hard to find any information about it. I know that it was once a thing, but I think it's only 250 plus 50 XP, assuming you're level 1. I think he misunderstood that and took it with First Blood bonus is plus 50. That's not what I meant. But there's no First Blood bonus, right? Stated for the record, there's no First Blood bonus. It's if you're curious and you want to know for yourself, after a kill, hover over this number in your HUD in the game. You'll literally see the amount of XP you get for First Blood. It'll be 300 XP total. It's 250 plus, if you are level 1, it's 50. If you're level 2, it'll be 250 plus 100. If you're level 3, it'll be 250 plus 150. Yada, yada, yada.
So it's not actually that valuable.
It's not, though.
I mean,
First Blood bonus is
something,
not.
but
It's not.
It's not a lot.
At least in the early
What's up, Lapstip?
parts of the game. And your goal is to hit level
What's up,
10
Lapstip?
as fast and as safe as possible to unlock,
your
your ultimate.
ultimate.
Because if you end up in a fight and the enemy has ults and you don't,
Yep.
yeah.
It is very rare to win a fight without ults when they have it. But occasionally, opponent burns several ults at level 10 when you're 9, and you don't die.
That's because they suck.
And then once you get 10,
They miss their ults.
you have ult cooldown advantage. That does happen sometimes.
But he's not wrong. It
That's
happens.
why you soak. By the way, XP orbs have 3 states of existence. As scientific as that sounds, once it's spawned, it has a 45-second lifespan.
I crack here. Okay. It says, I don't know why I crack there. It's because I improvised. I read the script and I say, XP orbs have 3 states of existence. As scientific as that sounds, that part right there, as scientific as that sounds, that's improvised. And I crack. I don't know why. I was like, I don't want to re-record this. Let me just use this as a bit. I don't know.
It has a 45-second lifespan. However, within the first 6 seconds,
This is not super intuitive, is it?
Mm-mm.
Is this explained by Uther in the tutorial? Did they ever update that? Because I think the original tutorial, I mean, there were no globes yet. You just got XP if you soaked nearby.
Yep.
Yeah, 100% XP and then 25% for another 39. Tutorial's not updated. Yeah, so this is really hard to learn if you're new.
Very.
I didn't know this. Yeah.
The fact that people are still saying that they don't know this, there's going to be a few chatters like, this is the first time I've ever heard about this. It's crazy to me. No offense to them. That's the game not explaining this mechanic properly. But 100% of the XP is nuts. So remember that those minions that you kill, right? You get 80 XP. This is 80 XP right here. Okay? 80 XP. This is like 20 XP. It's a massive difference. And you only have a 6-second window to soak this 80 XP.
Yeah, it's quite different looking, the full ball or the small ball, but knowing that after 6 seconds it turns.
I don't think it is. I don't think it's different enough looking. I don't think it is. I think the size is fine, whatever. I think there should be a color variation as well. I think these should be like the like this yellow, like the XP yellow. And then as they lose that duration or that amount of XP, they should change in color at least. At least. So going from yellow to like a bluish to like an invisible thing.
Turn small and that you only get a quarter. I mean, you can learn this by looking at your char, because there's like an XP amount pop up.
Char, by the way.
Plus 12 or plus 48 or whatever. So
He means
know that's,
character.
like,
He
that's
says
important
this
to pay
sometimes.
attention, but most
He
people
says char like a character.
100% of
Like a
of
char
itself,
coil.
of its XP.
Oh, I see, Rui. That's so
reduces
funny.
not only in size, but also its value, actually, by 25%. And then eventually it disappears.
So get it early.
Oh, and obviously, if you kill a minion with an auto or an ability, it is automatically so. So don't go looking for it. Kill.
Yeah, he said obviously, but I don't think that's obvious either. Like, you learn that every minion that dies
He's
drops
not
a
wrong.
globe,
He's
but
not wrong.
If you last hit it with an ability or auto
It's
attack,
not obvious.
then you instantly claim the XP. Even if you're outside of the globe radius, even if you do it from very, very far away. I mean, it's good.
Like if you're Asmodan, right, and you're dunking from half the lane away, just and you clear that wave, that XP is soaked.
It's good that we bring this up and can talk about actually.
Kills help, sure, but mainly because they stop the enemy from soaking. I'll show you some very hidden tech. No, it's not in this box. After a kill, look at the map. Push.
I don't know why that bit annoys me now. I've watched this so many times, not him, but my own videos so many times, just like trying to perfect it. But now I'm just like, oh god.
Push this lane. Take that camp. Go to that objective or destroy this building. Even better.
This is huge, by the way. I don't think enough players do this. After you get a kill, I see so many players just not responding to having a kill. A lot of players just like, okay, keep doing what we're doing. We're winning. Do this. Just keep fighting them on the tower or something. It's just like, bros, that kill should immediately turn everyone 180 degrees to go do something else. And I wish that was the case, but oftentimes it isn't.
All these things if the enemy allows you to. That's how you win in HOTS. Well, actually, you need to destroy the core, and that's how you win in HOTS. But to be able to do so, you need to take advantage of the enemy's death timers. Okay, any questions? Yeah? Comment down below. Now, let's talk about roles, finally.
I love the music, by the way. Just gonna compliment myself in the music selection. The music in all these scenes work really well.
Let's start with tanks, or me go first. Your job is to engage, peel, control the space around you, and pretend you know what's going on. Bonus points for pinging frantically at things you want.
Remember, I needed footage for that segment. Ping frantically at things you want help killing. Dude, I'm trying to ping on that Zeratul, and I keep pinging on the Nazebo. I know you don't see it here, but like
help killing.
I can't ping on the Nazebo. Like shit. I want it. Like the information still came through. I'm like, you need to ping on, ping for help, whatever. But I was getting so pissed off.
From you? No, soak damage. Since
I think bonus points for not using your abilities.
That's huge. I mean that's like that's grubby. That's grubby, dude. You know how important it is just to posture, just to show up. Right, what up? And not use your abilities. Oftentimes, new players will literally just press buttons. Just press buttons to press buttons. There was a moment in my MOBA career, which isn't as decorated as Grubby's maybe, but where I realized just posturing, showing up, being a threat, was huge. Absolutely huge.
When I play tank and I just don't use my abilities, the enemy plays so much safer. Like sometimes it's really easy to forget that the opponents have consciousness. Because sometimes you play, it's like everyone seems so dumb, you seem so dumb, teammate, enemy, all dumb. So you think you can just keep like throwing storm bolts and jumping and this and that, etc., etc., etc. But when you actually pay attention and you throw a storm bolt, you realize that's when the Genji suddenly decides to go in, etc., etc. Like people are actually paying attention to this more than sometimes I am or should be. So when I'm standing there,
I think new players struggle with that. They struggle thinking a step beyond of what is going to happen. New players are like, this is fun, I'm going to kill this guy, and that's it, right? They're not exposed to Why am I cocooned by an Uberak? Get me the fuck out of here. Why is it that when I jumped in, I died as muradin? Right? There's no like, oh, if I jump in, then Diablo is going to push me further into the team, stunning me against the wall, and then I'm just gonna get wombo comboed after that. There's no thought process of that. And then he's right? Just don't. Sometimes not using your abilities is a lot more valuable because that forces the enemy team to use their cooldowns, and now you get to react to that. It's like a give and take.
First tank and I'm zoning, I'm like, I could shadow charge you. People just don't go in, which is very valuable. Alternatively, you can stand in a bush and wait till the enemies engage on your team. Hopefully not with your team dying. Tank is actually, I think, the hardest role to play well.
You didn't soak XP, did you? Start a fight, but not dumb ones. You know, check your levels. Are you alone?
Are they alone?
A question to chat. What is this guy's accent? Which region in US sounds like this? Anyone know? I'm curious.
Check your squishies, who are probably mispositioned.
I think I came on his stream as soon as he asked that. And like I show up. I'm like in his chat up here. I am was born in Germany. I spoke fluent German until I was like 9 years old. And I moved to Poland and Italy. I speak fluent Polish now. My first grade was in Italy. I attended school there. I eventually moved to the States when I was about 15, something like that. And I've been here since. I lived in Maryland, Texas, and now in New York City. That's what I sound like. There you go.
Yep.
I have dyslexia. Sometimes it's hard for me to think of words because English isn't my first language, even though it definitely sounds like it. Yes, I'm dyslexic. I don't know my left from right sometimes. I need to do this and this. Actually, it's this one. I'm stupid.
Die
But I got
heroically, or at least less embarrassingly so.
Northeast?
The starter pick for a
So
tank
like,
would be
New Jersey?
Muradin. He can take a punch, has a get out of jail jump,
dude, chat was right on it too. I was like, damn, they figured me out.
and no one will yell at you for missing your stun. I mean, they might. but
New
you'll
Jersey's
survive
close
long
enough.
for them to blame something on someone
Vermont.
else. Bruisers. I'm a tank, but like cooler. You're the brawler of the team. Tough enough to take some hits, but mean enough to dish it back. You hold.
I didn't want to use that clip because I had an ABBA hat. It's like, fuck, is that fair?
The solo
Boston,
lane.
Vermont,
You kill
I
the
see.
squishies and sometimes remember to show up for the objective. What's expected of you? Well, to win the solo
Boston.
lane. To use the minimap and rotate or not get rotated on, and be too annoying to ignore and too durable to punish. The starter pick would be Sonya. She spins to win, yells, leaps, and
That's a good
somehow
starter
wins
hero.
fights she has no business winning. Plus, she doesn't use any mana, which makes her beginner friendly. DPS/assassins. My numbers go.
Okay. Who would I recommend for new players from DPS Assassin? Jaina is my top recommendation.
I like when this happened. I remember us being on in his chat, kind of just observing. I was like, damn, who would he pick, actually? I was pretty confident with our pick already. Like, I knew going into it, I was like, I did my research. I understand where 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 new players sort of struggle. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think our beginner pick is pretty good.
Jaina,
I do think Jaina's strong too.
Sagara, Tassadar. I think Jaina, Sagara, Tassadar.
I don't think Tass is that good because he literally has to stand still to be effective.
Maybe not Gul'dan. Tychus.
Yeah.
I think Jaina, Sagara, Tassadar, Tychus. Nazeebo.
I think Nazeebo is such a quick match demon. The fact that we see him everywhere, it kind of makes sense. I don't. You know what? First beginner, maybe. If they understood that stacking is important, you need to just just fuck off and go kill minions for the next 20 minutes. Just go do that. Don't do the camps. Don't participate in fights. Literally, if they are fighting, ignore them. Do the minion. do the wave. Go stack. He's a ticking time bomb. I mean, obviously help, right? Put a zombie wall down. Throw a spider, frogs at them, whatever. But Nazebo, yeah, maybe.
I don't think Rainer's as easy. I see a lot of people recommend Rainer. I think Rainer is harder to do because he doesn't have an escape. Like, yeah, he's got a small heal, but he's squishy, and you need to stutter step and hit the right thing.
He's pretty dismissive about Rainer being a new beginner-friendly hero. The small heal is actually massive, especially if you get Behemoth. Like, you're tanky. Rainer is tanky. Rainer can be tanky. There's a low percentage chance of you actually getting like bursted if you're mispositioned. You have movement speed. Get the hell out of jail card, essentially. You have a way of healing, self-sustaining, and you have a pretty basic ability rotation, right? You have you have one ability that does damage, and it's your Q. And that's all you have to do. Everything else is stay safe and run away. So it kind of made sense. And then you get Hyperion if you're new players.
Vala, look, I don't deny Vala as the noob hero. Like, all the noobs pick it, but I think she's too team dependent to happily play by yourself. With Tychus, you can set up a way where even if you're badly positioned, like, you can heal a lot or you can kill someone fast enough. Jaina has a lot of skill shots. Yeah, but like, just because someone is new doesn't mean they're going to miss skill shots. It's more like people don't know how to manage their mana, combo their skills, how to position safely. And I feel like Jaina is safer than Vala because she can ice block and slow enemies and stuff. And she does more damage when she throws all her spells.
Jaina is pretty good.
Ranged or melee, doesn't matter. You're
Here to hit the health bars.
Or at least try.
I don't think we need to make new players only play bad heroes like Rainer. Like, you can pick a good one like Jaina.
I feel attacked when he said that.
Yeah, because it'll be more effective.
DPS / assassins. My numbers go ranged or melee, doesn't matter. You're here to delete
Bad heroes like Rainer.
Try to. What's expected from you? Well, deal damage. Don't get caught and hit things. Hit the right things. The starter pick would be Rainer. He attacks automatically. It's a feature. Healers. I choose who gets to
Sorry, Grub.
He picked
You're the
Rainer.
lifeline of the team, which means everyone will try to kill you.
Sorry, bud.
Make it easy. What's expected from you? Keep the team alive. Position like a coward. Ult at the right moment. And get blamed regardless of the outcome. The starter pick for this would be Lily. You hold Q. She heals people. That's it.
Is she a good starter hero? She actually kind of is, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
she is.
Good starter hero. Morales, kind of good too. Brightwing, I think is great.
You're overqualified. Support. Not your traditional support, so it's not recommended for new players, but I'm not a healer.
I wish I leaned and showcased the Lost Vikings more during this whole video. I don't show them once, by the way. Ever. Except here. And that was my mistake. That and Cho'Gath. I just missed opportunity. I apologize.
But I feel like one.
Don't
you
play.
Provide utility.
Don't play
buffs,
support.
Vision, slows,
Don't.
and just enough support not to get flamed for not being a real healer. And what's expected from you? Well, shield, speed, slows, utilities. Annoy the enemy team by keeping others alive. You're the support role.
Remember that. Not the main role.
So be where your team needs you most.
In fights.
Starter pick for that would be Zarya. You bubble people, then act like you did something game-changing. Sometimes you actually do.
The best
Then
out
there are
of the
other
four.
roles.
The best out of the four is what he says, and I think I'm right in that. I mean, honestly, all the support ones, Zarya is probably the easier to comprehend. Again, approaching this as a new player, right? You're not gonna be flying around as Medivh and putting down portals in the right spots if you're a new player, right? It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, I think Zarya is probably the best one. Here also, I missed something. There was a few other specialists that I didn't put in here. Sylvanas, which he mentions. Gazlo, I don't know what happened to me. I was just like, I blanked during this edit. I don't know. This was probably like a 4 a.m. part of the video for me.
Specialist roles or what the
The specialist role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we still have the specialist role? Not anymore.
No.
Oh, specialist used to be its own role, but is now considered a subgroup. It's not mentioned in game, but we don't forget. Yeah, but he's not showing Nazebo. Nazebo was in this list too, and Sylvanas. Remember?
Yeah.
I push
I
lanes and I
fucked
don't
up.
talk to anyone. These are heroes with weird jobs like lane
Dazzler.
clear or summon stuff, global presence, and psychological warfare via emotes while you macro.
Macro play may include, but is not limited to, soaking lanes, capturing camps, rotating efficiently, calling for objectives, split pushing, and occasionally pinging a minimap. Side effects may include winning more games, enemy team confusion, results may vary.
What's expected?
When he said that those parts weren't the strongest, just like, shit. He hates it. He hates it. Shit. I shouldn't have done it. I could almost see it on his facial expression. I know it's not true, but like, I don't know. That's just a me thing.
Get macro value. Don't feed too much. And type Abadif in chat. Start a pick. Zul. Spawn skeletons.
Zul's good.
Chooses who to root and
Good
loves
noob hero.
meetings.
Not very good hero at fights though, but good noob hero.
Unless you have a Punisher with you.
Now, let's quickly touch on what makes HOTS so unique, besides the heroes. Again, yes, we're still doing this. Maps.
I think he should have led with this. If I structured it, I would start with maps, then go to. Well, actually, you start with addressing exactly what he did.
Okay.
Yes, the game is still alive. A lot
Yep.
of people think it's dead. This was based on a misconception after Blizzard closed esports HGC 2018.
Yeah.
They never did any effort to fix the misconception.
I
The
agree.
game was actually shut down in terms of servers.
Mhm.
Since 2018, people have kept playing the game and continues to have a healthy player population on Europe in particular. Decent on NA, dead in Asia. Blizzard tried to kill it? No, they could literally just shut it down.
Yeah, I think that the effort out of Blizzard, and that what he said, that misconception, dragged us down. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, people are still coming around like, wait, this game is still alive? That's crazy. It's crazy that that has to be almost answered every day. Like, yeah, the game is still alive. Shut up. We're not every game needs to die. And I don't think Blizzard is the one to just to kill off their IPs. Like if you think about it, what was the last game they were like, no more, ever? Like that, they just don't do that. But with HOTS, I don't know, it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. No more esports, especially. And if you don't have any esports, how are you gonna survive, right? That's just like that misconception there, and that's sort of that. It's a shame that MOBA has to be an esport for it to be successful. Like that's just not true. Like I've been battling that all my life, by the way. I was very competitive. I used to follow a lot of esports games, teams, and I was in that world, and I sort of understood it as that. If you're not esports, you're not successful. Very naive of me thinking that way, and yeah, once I started getting older and a little bit more mature, I started realizing like every game does not need to be a damn esport for it to be successful. And I think HOTS showcases that well. It's just unfortunate that Blizzard didn't really up their ante in terms of like, hey, we're still around.
There's
Fingers
no trying
crossed.
to kill it if you are the dev.
Or
either do
revival.
or you don't. They definitely didn't fix the illusion that the game had been shut down.
Mhm.
We see people ask every single day I stream HOTS. People are always like, "Game is alive," or like, "I thought they shut down the servers," which never happened, right? Like the number one that could have fixed that is Blizzard themselves. Yeah, and then I would go to what makes Heroes of the Storm unique. The XP nerdy details could come later, and then the role discussion. What makes Heroes unique?
I've rewrote the script several times. I've sent it to several friends, looking for feedback. Like I didn't just willy-nilly write this up. I mean, he's not wrong, right? The XP part can go in the back. I think that putting the maps in the front isn't a bad idea either, because it is what makes HOTS so unique, is the maps and the objectives. So I don't disagree. I think that's a good note. If I had the opportunity to fix it, I think I would probably flip them around.
And then I would lead with Cho'Gall, Vikings,
Yeah.
and the map diversity. Because
But now he's talking about like what is making it unique, while I was strictly focusing on like new player experiences, like just a burst of like below 15 minutes of information.
this is how the game is different. Talk about the short game length. And indeed, just like he did, the lack of last hitting and denying, team XP, short games, bit more sense of humor in the game, takes itself a little bit less seriously. Yes, there is toxicity because it's an online competitive multiplayer game, but it's not as pervasive as in League or in Dota, because in Dota you're held hostage in bad games, and in League your allies forfeit when you still want to play. So Dota games are very long and don't allow forfeiting, and that can feel really toxic.
Bro, have you ever been in a 30-minute HOTS game? Holy shit, those take forever. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they did this so perfectly. But if a HOTS game lasts longer than 20 minutes, this shit feels forever. Like, it actually feels like a long time. HOTS is like 15 to 20 minutes. Boom, done. Once you approach 30, you start to feel it. And it's like, all right, something is wrong here. Like, we've been doing this, like, somebody's gonna have to win. Like he said, in Dota or League, like 40 minutes, that's a normal game. That's crazy. That's crazy to me that you have to sit there for 40 minutes, coin flip a W, potentially, and be like, all right, yeah, let's play another one. Holy. That's nuts.
Makes people really mad. And in League, your allies give up before you're ready, and that can make you feel mad. And HOTS doesn't really have those two.
Yes, we're still doing
It's
this.
less stressful,
Maps.
yeah.
Show up for the objective or ignore it and lose in 10 minutes. Outside of these other indie MOBAs that only have one map, pathetic. Each of these 15
I made Grubby laugh. Haha.
has its own gimmick. Some call them objectives.
Gimmick? I would say mechanic.
Okay. I was trying to be funny, man. I know I said gimmick, but that might be somewhat insulting, right? They're not gimmicks. They are map mechanics. But he didn't have to point me out like that.
Overarching objective.
Yeah.
Call them reasons to die together.
He's
For
not
example,
wrong.
First Hollow. Collect tributes or get cursed. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Turn in gems, lose them, blame others, or Infernal Shrines. Clear the shrine. Summon.
How many times did you lose gems on Tomb of the Spider Queen and somebody else is like, what the fuck are you doing? How could you?
Giant Punisher. It jumps. Unlike League, lanes on maps are not predetermined by roles, but heroes, which may seem odd to new players. Like, where do I go?
This was huge. This is huge, by the way. This is so massive. Because you don't know. The game does not tell you where to go, depending on what hero you pick. And like, I think when I was writing this part of the script, I was like, hold on. If you're Varian and you have a Arthas on your team, where do you go? Like, what is your role? That is so hard to figure out as a new player. And even if even in a experienced setting, I think there needs to be like a discussion, like, okay, where do you want me to, like, team? What are we doing here? Like, who do I play? Where do I go? What, like, it's not an easy thing to figure out. It's really not.
Well, based on your hero, several
Oh
things
yeah, that must be really confusing for new players. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Where am I supposed to go? And then you start getting pinged. Thrall! Thrall, go there. Go to the top lane. Okay, top lane is Thrall lane. Thrall, go to bottom lane. Oh. I have to go wherever there's unmitigated lane pressure from the opponent as the solo.
No beginner is gonna figure that out, bro. Their screen is locked, centered on their camera. The minimap DLC has not been unlocked yet. We're engaged. We're focused on ourselves, damn it. That is not gonna happen. I wish there was a way to sort of explain this within a tutorial of some sort, but like, holy.
Solo laner, wherever that happens to be.
He's not wrong,
Sometimes it
though.
switches during the game because the objective is top. I'm expected to clear the bottom lane bottom because there's too much push and we can stall for long enough top. Except maybe I shouldn't go sometimes because sometimes I should just let it go so that we can focus on the fight. And I don't really know when I should pick which one. So it'll just take me several tens of thousand games to figure out when to do which one.
Yeah.
Things will happen after that fight that happens mid, which we talked about in the beginning. Players will go to lanes, for example, but not limited to several variations of a 1-3-1.
I wish I had leaned into this a little bit more because there are instances where instead of a 1-3-1, it's a 4-1 where the 1 would bounce between lanes, whether that's the top one or the bottom one, and that's double soaking. But again, beginner's guide. Like who like in like your friend literally just installed the game right now and you're going to be like, "Yo, go double soak real quick." Like, he's not going to know, or he's not going to walk away with information other than if you just literally have to tell him how to double soak, right? And that's not, it's not going to click. Like that's not, it's still not going to make sense to them why that's so effective and why that's so strong. So I was like, let me just keep it simple. 1-3-1, and then for the 2-lane map, it's 1-4. Boom, done.
And 3-lane maps and a 1-4 and 2-lane maps.
Okay.
However,
This needs so much explanation if you're explaining it to someone like me. Maybe a lot of people don't care. They just accept this. And it's true that this is split 1-4. But the crazy thing is, there is no reason it's 1-4 on Battlefield of Eternity, which is the map we're looking at now, compared to 4-1.
he's not wrong.
The map is symmetrical. Here's a bruiser camp for the left side, and here's a bruiser camp for the right side.
It's symmetrical but flipped, right? It's not a perfect symmetrical. It's symmetrical but then flipped. So what he's talking about is this camp right here and this camp right here. The reason there's 4 down here and it's stronger for the Angel teams because they're so close to this one. Why aren't there 4 people up here? Because they're stronger to this camp.
Right. So somehow both teams agree to put 4 people both, even though the Angel team has their bruiser camp more conveniently located nearby and are therefore in the advantage. The Devil team has to walk
I have
further.
to walk all the way back.
Why not just mirror? Angel sends 4 bot, Devil sends 4 top. No, then you get crazy confusing games where both have insane pressure and end up taking each other's fort early game. And that feels chaotic, and that's not the order of things, and that leads to rotational distress and psychological stress. So both teams, the entire player base, has just in a mass hysteria event decided bottom is 4. Let's just not change the status quo because it's uncomfortable and untraditional, and it forces us to think.
Do you know how crazy that would be? And you can definitely do it if there were 4 up here versus 1 versus 4 up here versus 1. Let's assume that it was true. Obviously, these guys went against this guy. These guys went against this guy. But now you have this open space of maybe 2 are coming, maybe 3, maybe the whole team, maybe just 1 is coming over. It's just like there's so much knowledge that you don't have of what is going on, and he's going to get into this. That chaos is insane. So I think keeping it simple, everyone's bottom. There's no like weird mystery happening between anyone. We know like it just feels a little bit more organized.
So let's not do that. When realistically, one of the teams has a better push team. One of the teams has Sylvanas or a Nubarak, and they can push the fort much better than the other. And that team should avoid the 4v4 and should force 4v1 and 1v4. But no, it's just too much thinking. Let's just keep it comfortable. Let's just don't rock the boat. Everybody stay bottom, okay? And it's only the rebellious people of the 4-man that are like, no, I enjoy a little bit of anarchy. I'm gonna go 2 top against their 1. 2 against 1 and 3 against 4. Well, if you win the 2 versus 1, great, you're getting a lot of value. But if your 3-man loses to 4-man, oh my god, you're the devil. And maybe that's how you like it, because you do enjoy some anarchy.
The heroes who are soloing lanes
Not
are
wrong.
considered heroes who can push well, or have tools for self-sustaining, like regenerating mana, or regenerating health, allowing them to remain in lane longer even after taking a bad trade. The rest of the team stays together. At times you may take a camp and even rotate to catch the enemy solo laner off guard, and vice versa. HOTS is dynamic like that, and for most traditional MOBA heads may seem a little strange at first, but with experience, it'll come natural. There's a reason us dedicated HOTS players love this game, and I believe this diversity of maps, playstyles, win conditions, and various build paths on heroes is what keeps us coming back. A rule of thumb for each map: when the map yells at you, listen. Now, not all objectives.
I feel like I should have leaned into this a little bit more. When the map yells at you, listen. The map literally says, or some sort of announcement happens that, like, Towers of Doom, the countdown happens. Like, as soon as the countdown happens, there's 2 things you can do. Recall immediately to go get the mana needed for this objective that's going to spawn. Or, if you're okay, go do a camp to get it ready to push so you can show up for the objective. And if that objective is either lost or won, while that's happening, that camp is actually going to progress through and get some value. Those are the 2 things. Those are your 2 options. And I feel like I should have leaned into that a little bit more. When the map yells at you, listen.
Objectives are created equal, but you're a beginner, so for now, just show up. There are moments when going for the objective is not worth anymore due to a numbers advantage of some sort, whether it's levels or literally being outnumbered. The team needs to agree not to go there anymore, putting them in a higher deficit if they were to die, and instead do that soaking thing to make up for the loss. Talents and
Did you see that, by the way? Remember that that sort of that variation I was talking about? Look.
To agree not to go there anymore, putting them in a higher deficit if they were to die, and instead do that so.
Okay, so like I said, 20% are negated because this and this XP are deflated now, right? But these 3 are not. These 3 are still within that 6-second window. Watch the numbers.
Make up
82
for the loss.
82 XP. Not just 80, 82. So again, that editor's note that I mentioned in the beginning, that there's some slight variation based on time.
Talents and HOTS are like Tinder bios. You pick what sounds cool, and then you regret it later. Every few levels, you pick from 3 to 4.
I messed up during the edit there. There were supposed to be so many sound effects while that's happening, like the swiping, the green. Like there's supposed to be so much audio feedback during that whole, and I just completely missed it. There was supposed to be like swooshes and dings and like whatever.
4 talents.
I goofed.
Some increase damage, some add CC, some make your heroes viable. Picking the right talents make you feel like a god. And picking the wrong ones. To avoid
Reign of Destruction is ass. And he's gonna prove me wrong here statistically. But you can't tell me that my ultimate there, during that particular fight, brought any value. Sure, I shouldn't have been there in that particular situation. Wasn't that good. But what the hell? That hit nobody, by the way.
God, and picking the wrong ones.
Look at this. They are taking no damage.
To avoid this,
Actually, Reign of Destruction had a higher win rate than Horrified.
When he did this live, I was freaking out. I was like, what?
Average lifespan of HOTS.
Sure.
Actually.
Maybe it was stronger then.
Actually, I'll check right now. I know not everybody uses Heroes Profile anymore.
I do.
But let's take a small look at Gul'dan and see what's real. If people really got better, as I've been theory crafting, then by now Horrify should be higher. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid, guys.
It is.
Horrify, 49%. There we go! Reign of Destruction, not that bad. Less popular, but higher win rate.
Okay. Let's just be accurate here. The games played, like the sample size is so low in comparison that it doesn't really make this that fair. But on paper, yes, it's better. Sure.
Or fan hots, or don't, and be a trendsetter.
I missed the opportunity to like shout him out, by the way. A shout out Fan Hots in his chat, because his chat is always up. Because, well, for the ones that know, he streams like 24/7, always has his reruns running, and you can type in !hero, and then you get a link to the build. I didn't know Grubby's chat did that as well. Whoops.
Now, with all of this knowledge, where do you actually start? Well, if you're totally new, play if
Wait, check higher leagues? Why? It doesn't matter. Okay, only high level, platinum and above. That's very high.
It's
Still better.
okay, but the sample size is crazy though. 300 versus 5,000. It's better, but like, brother.
few games versus AI, or even ARAM, which stands for All Random, All Mid, allowing you to choose from 3 random heroes to fight on a map in a single lane. The same rules apply, but with less soaking in mind and more fighting. These games are a good primer for you to fiddle with abilities and find a hero you enjoy and adjust any setting.
That's true. You can try out your builds and your hero here. It's good for mechanics practice, ARAM. And the great thing is, because everyone is having fun and just relaxing and enjoying some ARAM, nobody gets mad when you lose. Nobody flames each other. It's like the utopia of HOTS.
Things you might need to fiddle with. After
He's
that,
gotta
I
be
suggest
trolling,
playing some
right?
quick match games to get more experience by exposing yourself to the large map pool
Like, he's trolling.
has to offer. Do this at your own discretion, however, as quick match games are for quick memes. There are bursts of flavorful moments with players from a variety of skill levels clashing and lashing out at every lost game. After getting valuable feedback from a quick meme player, do yourself a favor and
Is that chicken madras?
do yourself a favor and this is
I suggest turning off team chat. I don't have, sometimes it's off. For the most part, it's not. I like to communicate with my team. I know he kind of just like, it's a little bit, but for the ones that are overly sensitive to, maybe not just overly, literally just sensitive. You just don't, if you don't want to put up with the bullshit, right? Turn it off. Turn it off. If you are trying to get better, I would say leave it on. Because eventually you'll be the one telling people what to do.
This is a MOBA after all. A few other
It is a
settings
MOBA
that
after
I've
all.
been fiddling with are cursor size, cursor guides, colorblind mode, and check your preferences between commands on minimaps and
Some people agree with me. Some dude calls me a pussy. Bro, you haven't been through the through the ringer yet.
move target. See the tooltips for more details. Looping back to quick match, this is the blind pick from League, or the all pick from Dota 2. These modes should not be taken.
Overall match quality is questionable.
I had a feeling he was gonna stop on the screen.
Skill balance is perfect. What does that mean? Ally players ideal, your party ideal, all players very close. Why is it questionable? What kind of
Holy
algorithm
shit, this video is
metric
long.
thing is
This is like a 1 hour
happened
long
right
video?
after I
I'm
quit,
so sorry.
Dota 2, by the way, or anyway, took a few year break.
I just realized we were recording for like an hour.
It's weird.
All pick from Dota 2.
Whoops.
These modes should not be taken too seriously, but are
I guess
great.
it's questionable because it's still Dota 2, and you're insane if you play that.
place to prep you until you unlock ranked, which, to be honest,
Play ranked, play ranked, play ranked. Please.
is where I'd love to see you play eventually. Ranked is where players try to apply the basic level
I'm silver 1 right now, going on gold. For the ones that need to know.
of this video. This is where you'll learn the most, and while it may seem daunting, it's usually more organized, with a sprinkle of fragile gamers looking for a quick climb. Just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Alright, you're here to play and learn. Don't worry about the numbers going up and down. They don't represent the amazing person you are. It's a team game. You didn't lose, your team lost. But also, it's a team game. You didn't win, your team won. And that's it.
I remember writing that. I think I made the same expression. I was like, damn. Damn, that hits. It's a team game. You didn't lose, your team lost. But also, it's a team game. You didn't win, your team won. Again, leaning into that team-based MOBA and the whole design around it, right? Like, the fact that you guys worked together, the fact that you drafted properly, the fact that you guys showed up for every team fight, you did the objective at the right time, the right abilities were used, the right talents were picked, like your team won this one. There was no carry, while you still can carry. Even if somebody sandbagged, remember, because they sandbagged, you won the game, because it made all of you guys step up and take the W home.
You've made it. Congrats. You're now ready for Heroes of the Storm. Oh, you thought I'd show you the loot? Okay, fine.
Oh, smart. Yo, I need to steal that.
That took like 4 hours to do.
Yo, if you guys like this video, give it a like. If
Thank you. All right, cool. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully there was some insight here and there. Like I said, this thing took me forever. And I'm just trying to get some hots on my channel, and maybe you guys stick around and enjoy it. This video was way too fucking long. Half of you guys already gone anyways. But with that being said, I'm too sketchy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.